Hello, this is Mrs. Taylor, and I'm going to walk you through how to create the equation for a quadratic function given the graph. So I'm going to use number 2 on the back side of your study guide. And what we have here is we have a parabola that we are going to write the equation for in vertex form. Vertex form is the easiest to work with when you're given the graph because it's easy to spot the vertex, and once I walk you through the process, you'll see it's easy to solve for A and get a complete equation. And then of course if the directions ask you to write the equation in standard form, you can always FOIL and then distribute and combine like terms and have your equation in standard form. But for purposes of the study guide and for the test tomorrow, you're more than welcome to leave it in vertex form. Okay, so in order to create the equation, I need 2 points. I need the vertex and just some point on the parabola that's not the vertex. And so I'm going to label those. The vertex is at 2, 4. And I'm just going to pick this point here that's on the y-axis. It's at 0, 8. I could have picked any point that's on whole number coordinates. It doesn't matter. So my vertex is at 2, 4, and that's my h and my k value. And my point, just any point on the parabola, is 0, 8, and that's my x and an f of x. Remember, f of x is the same thing as y. And the reason we need those 2 points is because we've got to figure out what the a value is. Remember, A determines how narrow or how wide your parabola will get, and one way to determine that is by solving for it using 2 points on the graph, the vertex and some other point. So I'm going to plug in all this information so that I just have A left. So f of x is 8, A is going to stay A, and then x is 0, minus h would be minus 2 squared, plus k, which was 4. So now what I have is an equation that has one variable, so I can solve it. But before I can start solving, I need to simplify what I have here. 0 minus 2. Remember, order of operations says you do what's in the parentheses and then the exponent. So I'm going to do 0 minus 2, which is negative 2, and then I'm going to square it, which is positive 4. So that becomes 4a. And now it's just a 2-step equation that we've been solving since Algebra 1. So subtract 4 from both sides and then divide by 4. So A equals 1. So that's my A value. So now I have my vertex and I have an A value. A equals 1. So what that allows me to do is now write my equation for this particular parabola. All I have to do is write f of x equals, and now instead of a, I write what a equals, which is 1, times x minus h. X stays a variable, because remember, in equations for graphs we need a variable. Typically it's x. And then minus h, which we know from looking at the vertex is 2, squared plus k, which was 4. So this would be the equation for my graph in vertex form. And like I was saying earlier, if the directions ask for it in standard form, you just FOIL and then distribute and then combine like terms to convert it to standard form. And so that is how you would write the equation of a quadratic function given the graph.